The tariffs are coming, the tariffs are coming, or they're not. Well, what's going on with action figure prices, and are we seeing increases based on tariffs, or are prices going up anyway? Well, let's take a look. Welcome to Spector Creative. Hey guys, welcome back to Spector Creative. I want to do a video today from some subscriber questions asking about tariffs. What is going on? We're basically now seeing memos coming from major companies, everything from your big bads, Entertainment Earths, to your Amazons, the companies that affect us in the action figure collecting world, that increased prices are coming. Now, there are two things that are driving increased prices. One are the U.S. government tariffs, which have already dropped by half. Didn't they drop from like 100 to 45% or something like that? I know we're all concerned about this, but remember, tariffs affect way more than toys. They affect everything. And if you think that the U.S. government is going to let Christmas get spoiled by tariffs, I don't know. I just don't see that happening. Maybe I'll be eating. This is not a political video. It's just a logic video. Tariffs are a political, economic tool. They are not meant to be a long-term, implemented policy. So I know a lot of people are, yeah, rightly so, freaking out over paying 100% more for some products. I just don't see tariffs being what causes toys to go up in price. What will cause toys to go up in price is the fact that they are currently underpriced. This is really, really important. And it's what everyone kind of keeps missing, is that for the last few years, major toy companies have been charging us either less than we should be paying. Basically, they've been taking margin hits, which means they're making less money than they're required to make. Or, what is more so, companies, both Hasbro and Mattel, have been deliberately cost reducing toys down to current price points. So I've explained this in a few videos, but the quick version is, so, when you have a toy, I'll just take Cable here, right? And if you find out he's going to cost you more to produce than you've already planned, so you have a target price that he has to cost out of the factory, right? Basically, package, figure, assembly, labor, boom. And let's just, for the sake of round numbers, say he's back to $20, right? Retail? I know they're not. So if it's $20 retail, usually the ex-factory cost is going to be about a fourth of that, 25%, is what it costs the manufacturer. So $5. Again, estimate, more or less. All right, so it costs $5 to make him, and you're going to sell him at retail for $20. So, in this case, Hasbro. Hasbro makes him for $5. They sell him to Target for $10. So that's how Hasbro makes their money. They make the difference between the cost to make it and the cost they sell it to the retailer, Target or Walmart. And then Target buys it for $10, sells it for $20. So that's where they make their margin. All right, so yeah, there's more margin usually for the retailers than the manufacturers. So as I've explained in a few videos, what Hasbro and Mattel have been doing, and this is a great visual, so I've got two of the same accessory, a couple years apart, Hero's Staff versus Hero's Staff. Let's get that to click. Oh, come on, click together. All right. So this one is the one that came with Classics from 20 years ago, and it is painted. It's got paint here in the handle. It's got paint on the top along the those like spires. This one, not so much. This is raw plastic, and we're seeing this showing up more and more actually on figures. And yes, it's becoming distracting. I find the new Acolyte figure that of Fabian Cortez, not Acolyte Star Wars, Acolyte Magneto. He's got a lot of raw plastic on him, and it's very distracting. And he stands out, I think, amongst my other X-Men figures, because most of them don't have raw plastic. Again, this is such a good example of that. That's what kept me from buying the King Keldor figure, because he's got all that raw plastic slapped on him, and it looks cheap. But Hasbro and Mattel have been up against a wall. They could either have raised prices 2 years ago to $30. We really should have been paying $30 for a Marvel Legends and a Black Series and a Masters Evolution, or all these 6-inch, 7-inch figures made by major companies. McFarlane being an exception because they don't have the overhead that Mattel and Hasbro have, so he can take a price hit. he doesn't have stockholders he has to appease. But the major ones, the Mattel Hasbros, they have been reducing the figures down to the price. So, again, if this guy comes out to $5 and the vendor comes and says, oh, sorry, Hasbro, it's actually going to cost $6 to make them. Well, now they have to take $1 out of this toy. How do you take $1 out of a toy? Well, if it's a $5 toy, taking $1 out is a fifth. So how do you take a fifth of the toy out? You got to remove a lot of deco, maybe a lot of accessories. Remove the Build-A-Figure piece. These are all strategies that Chris Cox, the president of Hasbro, was nice enough to note in a Yahoo Finance article a few months back that, yes, this is what Hasbro's been doing. And now that he's announced that, we can obviously tell Mattel has been doing this as well. So what's driving price increases for action figures isn't tariffs and isn't labor going up. It's the fact that it already costs more to make these figures. These figures should have been $30 2 years ago. And what companies have been doing is they've been reducing them down to a $25 figure to basically keep that price point instead of increasing the price and maintaining quality, which is why current figures have way more raw deco on them than older figures, because the raw deco, the removal of the come on, we swapped a Build-A-Figure piece for this? This is a universal flat piece of plastic with, printing on both sides. This did not cost the same as a giant Build-A-Figure part, I guarantee you. So, yeah, that's money saved. It's, companies are saying they're back against the wall. They either go to $30 for a figure or they cost reduce them. Personally, I would rather they raise price. Yes, I don't like paying $30, but I like consistency in the quality. So what's going to raise prices in 2025? I think companies are finally going to give in to the current costs that they should have given into 2 years ago. And hopefully we'll see them put some more, deco, more, less uncolored plastic into the toys. But, they've kind of now set this standard. Once you set a new standard, that's the problem. And the new standard has been set. For decades, it was always raise the price, maintain quality. We have now crossed over into a new frontier in toys and action figure collecting where the companies are now reducing toys to get the cost, not increasing price. They're the two things: increase price or cost reduce the toy. What do you guys think? Are you happy about this? Are you sad about this? Are you glad you have 90% of what you want for your collection before we enter this new phase? Prices are definitely going up. Whether they go up by tariffs or not, they are going to go up because toy companies have been undercharging us for a while now. And there are consequences to that. I got a lot of raw plastic I can sell you. All right, what do you guys think? Would you rather have price increases or would you rather have cost reductions? It's an interesting balance. Love to know your thoughts. Please leave them in the comments. I read them all. I comment back when I can, but I love to hear your guys' thoughts because this is a two-way conversation. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing. And that's the best way to support this channel. I'll see you guys in the next one.